Yeah, welcome back everybody. Today we are learning the completing the square method. Let's go straight to it. How do you complete the square for the quadratic expression x squared plus bx? This is a trick. You write it as x plus half the coefficient of x, which is b over 2 all squared, minus the square of half the coefficient of x. That means minus b over 2 all squared. And this is the same as, and that's the same as x plus 2 all squared minus b squared over 4. That's how to complete the square for x squared plus bx. Let's take another example. Y squared plus 4y. We're completing the square for y squared plus 4y. That simply means y plus the coefficient of y is 4 and half of that is 2. That means y plus 2 all squared minus the square of that half the coefficient of y, which is 2 squared, and that means y plus 2 all squared minus 4. So that's how to complete the square for y squared plus 4y. Now let's take an example in which the coefficient of the squared term is not 1. For example, let's take 5x squared minus 6x. Here the first thing to do is to make that coefficient 1, make the coefficient of x squared 1. And we can do that by writing it as 5 times x squared minus 6 over 5x. Now we complete the square for x squared minus 6 over 5x, and that simply means 5 times, if we complete the square for x squared minus 6 over 5x, that becomes x minus half the coefficient of x is going to be 3 over 5 all squared. Of course, the coefficient of x is minus 6 over 5. Half of that means 1 over 2 times minus 6 over 5. 2 here 1, 2 here 3, and that's minus 3 over 5, which is what you can see here. Now we continue. X minus 3 over 5 squared minus the square of that half the coefficient of x, which will be minus 3 over 5 all squared. So that simply means 5 times x minus 3 over 5 all squared minus 3 squared is 9 and 5 squared is 25. So we can open the brackets by multiplying everything inside it by 5. So that simply means 5 times x minus 3 over 5 all squared minus 5 times 9 over 25 is going to be 9 over 5. And that way we have completed the square for 5x squared minus 6x. So let's see very quickly how to use that method to solve the completing the square method to solve a quadratic equation. And we're using it to solve a quadratic equation 2x squared plus 5x plus 2 equals 0. First of all, we can see that the coefficient of x is not 1, x squared. We can see that the coefficient of x squared is not 1, so we are dividing through by 1 first of all. The coefficient of x squared is not 1, it is 2, so we are dividing through by 2 first of all. 0 over 2 is still 0, so you can just leave that as 0. And this means x squared plus 5 over 2x plus 1 equals 0. Now that means x squared plus 5 over 2x equals minus 1. Now we can easily complete the square for x squared plus 5 over 2x, and that's going to be x plus half the coefficient of x is going to be 1 over 2 times 5 over 2, which is 5 over 4 all squared, minus the square of that half, which is going to be 5 over 4 squared equals minus 1. I need to erase this, and that simply means, x plus 5 over 4 all squared minus 25 over 16 equals minus 1, which simply means x plus 5 over 4 all squared equals minus 1 plus 25 over 16, and that means x plus 5 over 4 all squared equals minus 1 plus 25 over 16 is going to be 9 over 4. Is 9 over 4, and that simply means finding the square root of both sides. We have x plus 5 over 4 equals square root of 9 9 over 16. Minus 1 plus 25 over 16 is 9 over 16. So that's square root of 9 over 16. And that simply means x plus 5 over 4. We know that there will be 2 square roots, and that means plus or minus 3 over 4. So that means x equals, we take 5 over 4 to the right hand side, and it becomes minus 5 over 4 plus or minus 3 over 4, which simply means x equals minus 5 over 4 plus 3 over 4, or minus 5 over 4 minus 3 over 4. And that's the same as minus 5 over 4 plus 3 over 4 is minus 2 over 4, which is minus 1 over 2, or minus, so that means x equals minus 1 over 2, or x equals minus 8 over 4, which is minus 2. So that's it, very, very simply. Thank you very much, and catch you in the next. Bye bye.